How many times a day do you see a person on a cell phone, a computer, or some other sort of digital device? But you can't even count how many times. You probably just said a bunch or a lot, or most people are like, well, yeah, that's normal. Now, think about how many times a day you see a person being active, being physically fit. That number drops a lot in your head. You now can suddenly count on your one hand how many times you actually see people outside being active. What is this saying about our society? What kind of role models are we being to children these days? Today, I'm going to explain why it is so important that we get our children involved in sports or some sort of other extracurricular activity. Childhood obesity is becoming a major problem in the United States. Just recently, I printed out a chart to show just how much and how drastically childhood obesity has increased over just a couple of years. This is just over about 20 years, has grown from 6% back in 1972 to almost 20% in 2004. That is just shocking. And how quickly this disease is taking over. And it's something that is easily preventable, something that doesn't require medicine to prevent, doesn't require research. It just requires being physically active and having a better, healthier lifestyle. Now, what exactly is childhood obesity? How can we prevent it? And why is it so important that we act on it? Well, according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, childhood obesity has more than doubled in children and has more than quadrupled in adolescents in the past 30 years. Now, I remember when I was a child and cell phones had just recently kind of started coming out, and everybody wanted one, but children usually did not get one. And I didn't receive my first cell phone until I was a freshman in high school. And that was simply because I was doing extra things and needed to have contact to my parents. Its sole purpose was contact. And nowadays, children receive cell phones from their parents in first, second, and third grade. They're 6, 7, 8 years old receiving cell phones and electronic devices and the newest and latest gadget that comes out. Now, I'm a summer camp counselor back home, and I have kids from kindergarten up through 8th grade. And I have my second graders coming up to me, showing me their newest smartphone, their latest device. Well, I think that's great that they have the newest technology and can develop and learn about how it works and all these things that are very beneficial. It worries me in the fact that when we go outside to play or play a game in the gym, they just sit on the benches or by a tree or something and play on their phones or play on their devices. This is why this issue is so important. Children aren't experiencing what we got to experience as young children and learning how to play and interact and be physically fit with other kids and other adults. According to the Disease Center, also, obese youth are much more likely to have risk factors for cardiovascular disease, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and are very likely to be obese adults with even more health issues like cancer and strokes and diabetes. And these health issues alone should be motivation enough to help prevent our children to having to face that at young ages. So how do we prevent childhood obesity? How do we tackle this issue? Well, of course, healthy eating and being physically fit is the two main sources of how to prevent this from happening. But you can't just tell a child, hey, you need to be more active, hey, you need to eat better. They're gonna do what they see. So being that positive role model and not just saying but actually doing with them is most beneficial. The Mayo Clinic states in one of their articles about childhood obesity that you must change the diet and exercise plan for the entire family. Childhood obesity is not specifically on that child, it's on that family and that parent, in the way that child follows what that parent does. If the parent doesn't eat healthy or be fit, the child won't either. The child does what the parent does. I can't stress that enough. Being that role model, being there for your children, and showing them that it's fun and exciting to be fit and active. So, why would be getting children involved in sports such a good thing? Why can't I just, throw them outside with a stick and say, have fun and be fit? No. Getting them involved in some sort of sport develops many things, such as cooperation and teamwork. Now, children can learn to get along with their teammates and help cheer them on, encourage them, basically develop skills that they wouldn't get just on an electronic device or playing by themselves or with a couple of their friends from school. Meeting new people, embracing challenges that a team brings out the best and the worst in people. And learning how to deal with that at a young age is essential for their lives in the future. Also, perseverance. When a child is new to something, and like a sport or anything, they must learn that consistently working harder and more towards the goal of becoming good at it is essential later in life when you're trying to persevere through things that may be challenging or difficult. And so learning that at a young age is also very important and something sports helps contribute to. Of course, physical fitness. Sports generally have a lot of fitness involved with running or catching, throwing, what have you. Physical fitness will be involved, and so that's why sports is such a great thing, is because it does keep a child fit while still having fun at the same time. And also they develop social skills that they don't get by themselves or alone or what have you. They develop skills with interacting with new and different people that they may not meet otherwise, and learning about their families and their cultures, and learning all different sorts of things other than just the sport. And so getting children involved in sports and being their role model and being their guidance as to eating healthy and healthier ways of living is essential when trying to fight childhood obesity. And I hope I have informed you of the growing problem of childhood obesity in ways that we can take action to fight it whenever we start a family of our own. These ever-changing technology advances and children constantly on their phones and wanting to learn and play the new and latest game that everybody else is playing really is causing even more increase in obesity and even more increase in children being inactive and just sitting on their bottoms and not embracing what's around them and learning new social skills and new life skills that can be developed through sports and extracurricular activities. And so remember your own childhood. Remember when you were active as a child and physical education was the best class of the day, and learning new fun games to play. And let's not get wrapped up in that latest technology, and let's embrace our children and have them love the sports that we used to love when we were their age, and develop lifelong skills that they can take with them for the rest of their lives. And remember, childhood obesity is a growing problem that can be fixed. It is a problem that can be addressed, and it is a problem that doesn't need to be a problem. So remember that children are like sponges, and they absorb what they see and absorb what others do and try to mimic that. And so childhood obesity can be prevented and can be easily fixed with keeping kids active and involving them in sports or extracurricular activities.